Today we're going to talk about 10 women you should avoid. I think 10 women, I've got quite a few examples of women that you should avoid. You should definitely not marry these women. And they're not all bad, it's just that these are the type of women that you definitely don't want to have a long-term relationship. And if you can identify them early, then you're avoiding any trouble by avoiding them fast and earlier on in the relationship. Before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no bullshit, novel dating advice for the modern man. My book is in the description if you want to get that, and also if you want some one-on-one coaching with me, you can fill out the form in the description, and we can get on with that whenever you're ready. So let's get on with 10 women that you should definitely avoid. Well, the first one is the self-centered, materialistic girl. She only really thinks about herself. She only really cares about her appearance. She's constantly trying to match her bag with her dress. She's very self-centered. She only thinks about herself. She doesn't care about your feelings. She doesn't care about really anybody's feelings. She only really cares about herself. This is a rare type of woman, but when you come across her, avoid her because she can ruin your life because, well, she doesn't care about you. She only cares about herself. The second one is your regular. Now, if you're spinning plates, if you have quite a few girls on the go and you're sleeping with multiples of women, and one of your, say for instance, a booty call on the weekend, you go out, and if you don't have any luck, there's this one girl that you give her a phone call or send her a text at 2 a.m. and she comes around. The booty call, the regular girl that you've been seeing for quite a long time, but you haven't properly committed. You can't marry her. You cannot lock her in full time. Just because she's so compliant and she does whatever you say and she turns up whenever you want her, because, well, she was never really in a relationship with you. She was always just a regular, and you didn't really see her that way. You can't just because you're feeling lonely or insecure in a moment of weakness decide, oh, maybe I'll lock in my regular as my actual girlfriend and then maybe marry her, because all you're doing is setting yourself up for doom and gloom later on, because you're probably going to cheat on her again later on after you've had kids and got married. And don't slip into that because you're weak and you're lonely. You're in some sort of a moment of weakness and decide you're going to, make a woman out of her because she's such a good girl. Well, all you're doing is making life difficult for her and yourself, because you won't be happy anyway. Number 3 is the spender. The girl who is in debt or she spends way too much. You'll notice her straight away. You take her out on that first date, she's the girl that pulls out the menu and goes, I want this, 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 and she knows you're paying. She doesn't even think about it. She doesn't even worry about you paying for everything or even address that in any way. She doesn't even think about it. Then you discover she's in debt. She looks great. She looks $1 million. She looks perfectly dressed, but that's all on her credit card. Well, if you lock in a dodgy woman like that, well, it's going to be your credit card, and you're the one that's going to be in debt. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. 4, the gossiper. Now, you'll be out on a date with her, and she will start telling you about her friends. She'll start bitching about her friends, pretty much. And she's got a little group of friends, and she'll bitch about them, and she'll tell you bad things about her friends, and then next thing you know, next weekend she's out with her friends again. I dated one of these girls, and they're not trustworthy. She's always stabbing her friends, and so guess what happens? Well, when you have an argument with her, who do you think she tells? She tells her friends about you, and then both of you are not properly aware that she's bitching to you about her friends, and then she's bitching to her friends about you. This girl is nothing but trouble, and if you can identify her early, get the hell away from her as soon as possible. 5, she adds zero value to your life. You know that girl? The girl that just literally adds zero value. She never obviously pays for anything. She never gives you any gifts. You never feel like she's of any value. So for instance, you have a problem and that's your problem. She doesn't, when she leaves your place and go back to her place, try to solve that problem for you and send you links on how to solve that problem. She doesn't actively think about whatever's going on with you and help you out in your life in any way, shape or form. This girl, she flies under the radar, and most of the time you might not even realize it, but you're just adding value to her, and she's not actually doing anything for you. And sometimes it's hard to identify this, and sometimes a lot of guys don't even realize this girl exists, but you have to actively look for it. Is she adding value to your life? And if she's not, if you lock her in as a girlfriend or a wife, she's nothing but trouble, because nothing gets done. You're the one that needs to solve all the problems in every aspect of life, and that's those guys that end up working 6-7 days a week because she's not doing anything. Maybe she's just too lazy or whatever. 6, this one's pretty explanatory. She's a party girl. You met her in a club. You watched some pickup dude telling you how to pick up girls in the nightclub. Yeah, you got yourself a hot blonde. It was a one-night stand, then she's turned into your girlfriend, and then you realize a month later she's still going out with her friends, drinking and coming back at 3 a.m. in the morning. And you realize that sometimes on a Sunday, instead of just having breakfast with you, she decides to have breakfast and some form of a Bloody Mary, you know, because she's got a hangover. She needs a little bit of hair of the dog alcohol. Then you realize she's got an alcohol addiction. And then a few months in, you realize that every weekend she's taking some form of drugs, the party girl. And then you realize, hang on, what's that white liquid on your lips when she comes home at 3 a.m. in the morning? You don't know where this girl's been. This girl's nothing but trouble. If you meet a girl in the nightclub, there's a very good chance that she is not wife material. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that will say, oh look, I met my girlfriend at 3 a.m. in the morning and she's magnificent. Sure, but you're the minority. The vast majority of girls that you meet and they are regulars in the nightclub are mostly trouble, and that's why I believe in day game. That's where you meet the highest quality girls. 7, she's a liar. She just, you've caught her out lying, and you can just see, you know, she's lying about little things, and they might seem irrelevant, little things that don't really matter. But then you start to notice inconsistencies in her stories. Oh, I thought you were going out with your girlfriend Stacy, but what? You were out with Fred and Barry and John? Or you know, she was supposed to be at work, but then you discover that she wasn't at work. Or she was supposed to be at class and you discover that she wasn't. Whenever she's around you, if she's texting on her phone, she's doing this. The liar, the inconsistent person, the one that it just feels like something's wrong, but you don't have any evidence because she's so good at lying. Get the hell away from her, because if you feel insecure, you feel like there's something wrong, there's a very good chance there is. And a lot of people out there, they might say, no, you're just being insecure. You know, you're just being insecure about her. Well, if you're insecure about her, there's a good chance that you're insecure for a reason. Most of the girls that I date these days, I'm not insecure at all. I'm not worried about them. I trust them 100% because I'm picking the right girls. Whenever I feel insecure about a girl, it's because something's up. Go with your feelings. If something doesn't seem right, you're probably right. 8. This one's a nightmare. The control freak. She wants to control everything you do. In the early days, she might just want to pick dinner. Next thing you know, she wants to pick what you wear. Next thing you know, she wants to, revolutionize your entire life. And next thing you know, you've got a wife and kids, and you don't have any friends, you don't have any hobbies, you have to work 7 days a week. Your life is absolutely miserable, and eventually you break up with her, she takes half your money, and you realize, oh my God, now I know what went wrong. It crept in. Next thing you know, she's controlling everything. You're sleeping in the spare room. She's controlling when you don't have sex. She's controlling every aspect of your life. The control freak. She's bossy. She tells you to do things in front of your friends. You're out to dinner and she'll actually tell you where to go and what to do and, how to go about things. Get the hell away from her. 9. 9 is pretty easy to figure out yourself. She might not be a party girl. She might not she might not seem very slutty. But she has quite a few guy friends. They're just friends though, sometimes they will have gay friends. What they would call a fag hag. Like girls that have they go out with gay guys, and sometimes they go for a drink or they go for coffee and they gossip and things like that. But some of those gay guys are not gay. And on top of that, gay guys, when they're hanging out with your girlfriend, have no problem with your girlfriend having sex with other guys, because gay guys are probably the most... they cheat the most, pretty much, gay guys. You don't if there's 2 gay guys together, you wouldn't trust your partner to go to the shops alone without having sex with someone and swiping right on Grindr and meeting a guy. That's part of their mentality, and that part of that mentality by osmosis will be transferred to your girl that you're dating, and it's nothing but heartache if you're dating that type of woman. 10. And 10 is the most obvious. Neurotic. If it's sunny outside, she's happy, and if it's raining, she's really miserable and quiet and cold and angry, and she's had a good day at work and she's like overly excited, and the very next day she's miserable and angry. She's up and she's down, and she's got some form of a mental problem. You say one moment she's super happy, and then boom, she snaps so fast. Neuroticism is an emotional woman that you want to avoid, because especially in the early days, if you identify even the slightest hint of neuroticism, it is only going to get worse the longer you stay with her and the more comfortable she gets with you, because that is only going to get so much worse. So avoid the neurotic, emotional woman. And I know a lot of people say that women are just emotional and you've got to deal with it. Well, there's a lot of women who are very logical and stable. Go with that. I dare say that is the best type of woman to go for, not a neurotic, emotional roller coaster ride, because that roller coaster ends up crashing, and you're the one that it crashes into usually. So if you like this video, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the bell icon. My book's in the description, and also you can sign up for some coaching with me, and I focus mainly on day game, but also I talk about relationship things as well. I'll see you in the next video.